Hey folks, I saw this little guy come up on my Instagram and thought it was kind of a neat idea. And I went on YouTube to try and find out some information on it. And I was about 7 or 8 videos in when I just gave up, because almost every video, well, all 7 or 8 that I first started with, were just clickbait. They were literally people saying they were reviewing the camera, telling you whether it's a scam or not, and not one person had the camera in hand. They were analyzing the website. They were, talking about how it's not clickable on the website and how there's no history for the company, etc., and no information. Basically, it was all speculation. So, I'm a admitted camera junkie. It's what I do for a living. It's what I do for fun. So I thought, what the hell? It is on sale, or was on sale, for $119.95, I believe. Now they're saying that's a discount from the normal $200 price. A lot of the YouTube channels said that there were quote unquote similar products that they saw for $25-30 on budget sites, but then again, they didn't have one. So I don't understand how they could compare it to something that they have. They don't have one or the other. All they're doing is saying something that looks similar has a cheaper price. So anyway, I went ahead and got it, not knowing, frankly, whether I was even going to get it or not. It actually showed up. It showed up in a fairly timely manner. I had it shipped out here to my house in California, and I think it only took about 2 weeks, to be perfectly honest, all the way from China. And this is the box, as you can see. I'll show you what it came with first. Comes in this little package. There's a little box here. I won't go into details, but this has a little neck strap, and it has the USB A to C cord that you need to charge the device. So there's the port right there on the bottom. You can see that there's an SD card, micro SD card plugged in. It's USB-C, like I said, and that is a 16 gig card that comes preloaded and ready to go. So you literally, I popped this out of the box and it was charged, ready to shoot. I'll go over some of the features here real quick. It does have a little pop-up viewfinder like you would see on a regular TLR, although this is digital. So right here we have some buttons. That's the power on button. It also, when you're actually in shooting mode, in stills mode, it will change. If you do a quick press, it'll change it to black and white and back to color again. If you do a long press, that's going to power it back off or on. This is the shutter button that allows you to just take a picture. I believe this button turned autofocus on and off. And this one, let me think, what did that one do? I believe, let me just actually power it on. I'll show you and we'll find out together. I just used it not too long ago. You can see the camera powering on there. And this button, oh, it actually goes to review mode, so you can review the shots that are on your camera there. And once you're in review mode, I just took that picture actually just a minute ago, and you can rotate this dial, which will bring up other photos. And these are pictures that I took that I'll when I get on my computer here, I'll punch these up and kind of show you what the quality is like. I believe it's all plastic construction. Looks like plastic lenses, so you probably couldn't expect the greatest image quality. And so if you're like me and you use well, sitting right here actually, this is just one of my cameras. This is the Sony a6700. I have the a7R Mark V, which this is like a $2,000 camera. The Mark V is a $3,500 camera. So I'm used to high-end photo gear, which I was not expecting this to be that, obviously. But just wanted to see if it was decent and fun. First thing I noticed when I brought it out of the box was it is tiny, very tiny, even smaller than I expected. You can see roughly how big it is in hand, and for a comparison's sake, whoops, I just took a picture. But that is a regular 12-ounce can of soda, and that's what the viewfinder popped up. Now, you can pop that down, and it's even more compact. You can literally see it would probably, if you tore the top off this can, it would fit inside without any issues whatsoever. It's small and it's very, very lightweight. I'll actually let me tell you exactly how much it weighs here in a sec. You know what? I actually took the scale into the other room, so I'll weigh it, and I'll let you know exactly how much it weighs when I go hop on my computer to review the shots. I don't know. Let's see, I'm not sure. I think that's just a fake PC port. That's a non-functional. This clicks, but I was not able to figure out what it does. So when you're actually, after you power on the camera, if you were to turn this crank, it actually starts recording a video. But if you do it that way, it will literally do a few seconds and then start to shut down, I believe. Actually, it's still going. Maybe if you turn it, it shuts it off, because it was shutting it off for me. Oh, there it goes. I think you crank it back the other way and it starts a countdown to shut off. Let's try that one more time. Yeah, it's recording. That's what I expected, actually, because that's what it did the first few times I did it. If you use the crank to start it, it shoots for a couple of seconds and then immediately starts doing like a few second countdown and shuts off. If you wanted to do longer video, you use the shutter button and long press it, and then it goes into video mode and starts shooting a video. And I believe more than likely it'll go until the card fills up, or a good amount of time. I didn't try and shoot for very long, to be honest. But as you can see, it's not doing the countdown. I think probably if you do this, it will start to shut down again. Nope, I guess when you use the shutter to do it, you have to hit the shutter again to stop. And then it just stops, no countdown. Yeah, so I wasn't able to figure out what that did. All the other buttons we've kind of gone through. This is kind of easy to collapse. It's pretty fragile, so it's not like this is a rugged camera. And I did a sneak peek of the images that I got out of this, which I'll show you in just a minute here. But to be honest, I was overall pretty impressed. It exceeded my expectations. The files came out to be 5.436 or 5, basically almost 5.4 by 5.4, 5,400 pixels by 5,400 pixels, almost making a 12 megapixel image, a square 12 megapixel image, which is not too bad, to be perfectly honest. Most modern cameras nowadays, fancy cameras anyway, they shoot for 24 megapixels and up. Most phones can even exceed 12 megapixels, but still 12 megapixels is more than enough for social media, and as you'll see in a little bit, it's perfectly fine for most things. You're just not going to blow it up to beyond, say, like an 8x10. But other than that, it's not bad. And just my first impressions, I only got about a half an hour to shoot with it this morning. It was just fun, to be perfectly honest. If I was doing any serious photography, I would take one of my regular cameras, but it was more fun than breasting out your phone, for me anyway. I would rather carry this around, put it in my pocket, than pop out my phone to take pictures. I don't know why. Phones probably, in fact, I just took a picture here, so I'll show you. Probably superior image quality. The lenses is quite a bit bigger. The sensor is probably bigger than your phone, but the phone is just so much more expensive and much more advanced technology. But like I said, I have a picture of this little setup here with this camera and with my Google Pixel 7. So you'll be able to compare that. It's a fairly modern new phone. Video wise, I didn't really do too much testing. It does HD video, but I wasn't really, I don't see myself doing too much video with it. If I was going to do a video out and about without my professional cameras, I probably would grab my phone. And as you can see, almost all the instructions are just in Chinese. It says Type C because I guess that's universal. It says 12 megapixels, which turned out to be true in here. Yeah, it does say 1080p for the video. I guess that's about all we can go over here, so I'm gonna pop over to the computer and we'll go over some of the images real quick that I just captured with this guy. See you in a bit. Okay folks, back here at my computer with the first image pulled up, and this is screen recording on a 4K monitor, so it should be pretty good detail. We're going to go to view here and punch in. As you can see, it is a square image. But like I said, I was pretty shocked. I mean, you could see good separation here in these micro branches, nice crisp edges. The chromatic aberration is pretty well under control for something that's very highly backlit. You can almost read these little signs here. I was pretty far away. Just to give you kind of a perspective, I didn't get a exact measurement on the focal length of the lens, but this was compared to my Google Pixel, it was between 1 and 2x. So it was a little more narrow than a 1, the main lens on a Google Pixel. So you can probably extrapolate from there if you were to go to, Google Pixel and look up the Pixel 7 and find out what the focal length between 1 and a 2x punch in on that first lens is. But again, not bad. I would say the colors are decent. It's a little muted, but nothing that a quick contrast adjustment won't fix. Second image here, again, pretty good detail in these signs. Again, decent colors. You can see here, I would say that this is a little sharper than the one right next to it, so not surprising for a plastic lens, to be perfectly honest. There could have been a little bit of handshake too. This was inside of a fairly dark store, so obviously a little bit better lit here. These are all completely straight out of the camera, untouched raw images, and you can see it's pretty sharp all the way across. There's a little bit of softness here. It's actually a little softer on the right side than on the left side, and I think if you go up here, it's actually softer right in the middle than it is on the outside. Again, it can just happen with plastic lenses, so you're not going to expect edge-to-edge sharpness on something like this. I mean, this whole camera costs less than a budget lens for a nice system. Again, decent color, decent sharpness. I've actually had $500 all-in-one lenses that don't have edge-to-edge consistency like this. It's not bad. Again, fairly poorly lit in this store. There's some skylights, but it still was fairly dark, so it does pretty well. You're not getting a lot of depth of field here. I mean, you are getting a lot of depth of field, I should say. It's not, there's not a fall off. It's a pretty wide lens, I guess you could say. Sharp again, sharp in the branches. Yeah, not bad. It's not what I'm used to. My cameras are 26 and 61 or 62 megapixels respectively, so I'm used to quite a bit more. I tried to stress the camera here, as you can see, super bright to very dark. Same thing here, very bright out here, and I was actually surprised that there's not a ton of noise here in the dark areas. A tiny bit of basically noise correction in any simple program, and that's going to clean up nicely for something that's completely in the shade and it's having to deal with very bright to very dark. Not bad at all. So those were the images I shot quickly this morning, and I was pleasantly surprised. You know, I was fully prepared to get images back that were so bad that I would never even, you know, want to use the camera, that I'd just pop it up onto a shelf and leave it there. But I would take this out just for fun shooting, you know. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I'm always afraid if I don't take my best gear out that I'm gonna come across something or take a photo that I really like, and then I'll be stuck, you know, having shot it with a subpar camera or not my best camera. But, you know, it is what it is. You know, I do that with my phone sometimes, and I get some nice shots, and I think, God, I wish I had my camera. But, you know, it's just not always convenient to have your expensive camera with you, even if you have one or not. But I can honestly say this was more fun and easier, I guess you could say, than using my phone. A phone, I don't like to carry it around and walk with it because I might drop it. It's always in my like shoulder bag or tucked away, and then most of the time I don't want to get it out, even if I see something I might want to photograph. If I'm sitting down already and just, you know, relaxing, that's fine. But this, I was able to literally just shove it into my pocket. It was so light. Yeah, I can't, it's lighter than my cell phone, let's put it that way. And so I would honestly say, you know, I don't know how it compares with the other cameras I mentioned. You know, I said YouTubers were saying they found similar items for 25, 35 bucks. But what they mean by similar, because they didn't have either camera, must just mean it looks the same. Because they didn't have any specs on either of the cameras. And like I said, if you did some research on this, you probably know what I meant. But which is why I decided to do an actual hands-on review. And so yeah, if, you know, to me, because it's what I do and I spend thousands of dollars on my camera gear, you know, 120 to have something that's fun and functional, I don't feel bad about it at all. So I'm not saying you should go out and buy it, but for $120, you see what you get, basically. Hope that helps a little bit in deciding. Maybe there are actual cheaper options that are exactly the same. That does happen, you know, with Chinese products. They do dabble in the knockoffs, let's face it. You know, sometimes they'll copy something exactly, slap a different name on it, and charge more or less for it. So you're never sure what you're gonna get. But me personally, $120 you got here promptly, works just fine so far. Obviously I can't speak to its durability and longevity, but for what I paid, I'm perfectly happy with it. So again, hope that helps. Thanks for watching. I did forget to go weigh it, so I will do that, and I'll pop that up here on the video, so you know exactly how much weight you're dealing with. But it is extremely light. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it's quite a bit lighter than my cell phone. Now I do have the Pro, Google Pixel A7 Pro or 7 Pro. So it is the bigger screen, the bigger one, the heavier one, but still, I think it's substantially lighter than even a standard phone. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.